Quick video for you guys. I've been in kind of a mood. Um, Made a video this morning on my TikTok just because I liked one of the audios that they had. It was about resting bitch face, and so I uh, I made a video, and it scared people because they're like, "Holy crap, are you okay?" No, I'm okay. That was just me before coffee, and I had bedhead. But now I'm okay. See, after a shower, I get these waves, them waves, them waves. Yeah, there was a there was a meme that went around like 6 months ago that this would have been like an awesome moment for. But yeah, when I have coronavirus hair and I can't get a haircut, this is what happens. So I wake up in the morning and I look scary. Liz Reptile said I looked like Wolverine hadn't had his coffee, and she was right. Um, anyways, uh, today's video is inspired by one of my classmates in my master's program who is an anti vaxxer. And she says that when they finally do come out with the coronavirus vaccine, that she's not exactly going to be the first person lining up for it. And, when people express these things on social media, and it's alongside things like, oh, I bet you Bill Gates is going to make bajillions of dollars off of this. He sold us a way to get viruses before, and then sold the cures, and now he's going to move from computers to human beings to do it, and all that stuff. When I hear that, it makes me cringe. It does. And that's what this video is about, pretty much. So going back to the weekly morbidity and mortality report from the CDC, going back to that well one last time before it goes dry for the week, because this is the last interesting thing I found there uh, pertaining to all of our current situations. This is a study of how fewer vaccines were ordered for children for measles, right? And other things. But basically, I can skip over all of this and just tell you that the VCF, it's a national program that provides federally purchased vaccines to approximately 50% of U.S. children aged 0 to 18 years. That's all you need to know is VCF is just vaccines for children program, right? That's it. The rest of it can be summed up with just this chart right here showing that this is January 20th, where we first learned that coronavirus was in Washington State. And this is March 13th, where we declared a national emergency. And right about here is when all of the hospitals started to tell people with non essential procedures that were being done to stay at home, because you might catch the coronavirus by going to the hospital. So if it can be put off for a while, we're just gonna push your surgeries off, push your routine examinations off, and push your inoculations off. And that's what we're looking at right here. The difference between the dotted line and the solid line is this gap right here is the gap where all of the non-influenza doses are, right? Those are like inoculations for uh, everything but the flu. And then this dotted line right here is the ones that contained the measles. Now, The MMR vaccine has measles, mumps, and rubella in it, but there's also other vaccines that people could get on top of that. Anyways, just look at the general trending number, and you can see that like uh, less than half of the amount of vaccines were ordered from the vaccine program to go out to these places where they would be given to children because they order them like back ordering. When they get low, they order the next set, you know. um, so if they're sitting on a set that's ready to go, ready to be administered, and they don't have any children to give it to, they're not going to order more from the program. So this goes out to mid-April. We don't know what happened at the end of April with this report, but you can see the solid blue lines here are kids that are older than 2 years old. And the light blue lines are the kids that are uh, between, sorry, the dark blue is the ones who are under 2 years old, and the light blue ones are the kids that are 2 years to 18 months. And you see this drop right here. This is important, right? These are the babies getting their routine doses. You know, they're still being tracked pretty closely by social workers, by hospitals. You know, the the postpartum care is still uh, reaching the mother by keeping her informed about what's the next vaccines that they need to get. But these right here, these might be the ones that were administered at schools that were closed. You know, these are the ones that matter to what I'm saying here, because there's about 2 months now, 2.5 months of reduced vaccinations of school age children, and we need to catch up. The study says as much, but we need to catch up. And during that same time, there was a lot of talk about vaccines, more about the coronavirus vaccine, but anti vaxxer rhetoric was being put out on social media. It was being spread around by different platforms, including YouTube, where people were becoming more afraid of vaccines in general. So, given that we have this gap to make up of about 2.5, 3 months worth of inoculations that didn't happen because schools were closed and kids weren't there to be able to just line them up and give them all their vaccines, or the kids weren't being taken to the hospital clinics because the hospital clinics were closed for non-essential services that could be put off to a later date. So we have this big gap, right? And we also have in that gap parents being fed bullshit, anti-vax bullshit. So when these kids all come back to school in the districts where they're allowed to go back to school, might a lot of them have missed those vaccines and never gotten them back. I know that the CDC will be following these numbers to see if they actually do catch up with their vaccinations to keep the general public, in good health, because this is the kind of perfect storm where one pandemic could start the resurgence of a different thing that caused pandemics in the past that we almost snuffed out and got rid of, but anti vaxxers brought back into our society. We were almost there. We almost got rid of those measles. But, you know, this is the world we live in. Um, doesn't look like anybody decided to chat anything. I've only been on for 10 minutes, so nobody noticed that this live video was happening. Yay! I'm a small YouTuber. and I can get out of this without taking questions. So, if you do have any questions, leave them in the chat below, and I'll either get to them tomorrow night or I will respond to you directly. Um, Comment below and take care of yourself.